Welcome back to the Real Talk Podcast. Quick takes.
Say don't spray it.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I've gotten used to it.
Now he has the Rona.
I've gotten used. Yeah.
My bad.
It's all good.
For those of you who are joining us for the first time, pretty much what we do in these quick takes is Nevis watched a movie that I've never seen, a recent movie that I've never seen, and I've watched a movie that recently came out that Nevis hasn't seen, and we're essentially going to pitch it to each other, give the pros, give the cons, and essentially decide whether the other person, if it's worth watching for the other person, you know.
Yep.
So this week I watched Swan Song, starring Mahershala Ali and Naomi Harris, as well as Glenn Close. I watched it a couple nights ago, and I loved it. Pretty much, it's about this guy played by Mahershala Ali, who it's set in a distant future. Not really that distant. It's still relatively grounded, but futuristic technology, and cloning is a real thing, but it's still in the stages of where it's kind of like people don't really do cloning. The movie starts off with him meeting his soon-to-be wife. So it starts with them and they meet. It's really cute, and then it kind of fast forwards to like the present day. They've already gotten married. They have a son. They actually have another kid on the way. I think she's 2 months pregnant in this movie, right? And they don't really say what his disease is, but he has a lot of seizures, and one of these seizures could kill him. He has a few missed calls from a doctor who's been telling him like, oh, the degeneration is getting worse and worse and yada yada. And that character is Glenn Close. Basically, he has been meeting with her without his wife knowing because he wants to be cloned. Now, this isn't cloning in the sense of like they create a body and then they put your consciousness into it and you can live the rest of your life through this clone. You will die, but the clone, it's more so for the sake of your family. And so he's going through with it, and he decides, yeah, let's create the clone. They make the clone. But then where it gets really emotional is that it's a very compelling narrative, first of all. Like, I was really engaged. They create the clone. He puts all of his memories into it, and then it wakes up, and he begins to speak to it, and they call it Jack, right? So that they don't get confused. And he slowly starts to feel like, I don't want to do this. You know, I don't want my family to not know that I'm actually dying. I don't want to do all this. I don't want this thing to be with my wife and kid. He gets to go visit his family one last time, and then the clone goes for 2 weeks. And if the clone, like, if they can't tell a difference and it's been successful, the clone stays forever. They wipe the clone's memory of ever being cloned. So now this clone doesn't even know it is. It's just his character. In the last 10 minutes, I don't cry when I watch movies. And I know in that Christmas episode, you were like, Josh doesn't have a heart and all this. Last 15 minutes of the movie, before the credits at least.
Yeah.
As he breaks out of the facility because when he was going to go visit his family, he had a seizure, so they had to take him away. He goes to visit his family, says goodbye to his wife. The clone confronts him before anything. Yeah. And the clone's just like, do what you have to do. Yeah. This movie had me, a single tear came out, and then all of a sudden, all the waterworks started just coming. I was like gasping for breath. Yeah. I was like, performances were so good. Yeah. Ali is so good and is so amazing. The amount of emotion he's able to communicate with just this upper part of his face, so good. The narrative in terms of cons, I feel like it's a little bit long. Like it is an hour and it is under 2 hours, but I feel like it could maybe be 20 minutes shorter. I think this was a fantastic movie, and I highly recommend that you should watch it. I'm so glad I can finally say to watch a movie.
Yes, finally. I will watch it as soon as I can.
On that note, what did you watch this week?
So, I didn't have the greatest luck as you, Josh. I think I've been getting the shit end of the stick when it comes to these movies, if anything. So I watched the movie Don't Look Up, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence. Okay.
I heard good things.
So the movie is basically these two scientists. Yeah. They find out that there's an asteroid, really big asteroid that's going to hit the planet Earth. And they're like, okay, we got to do something about it. So they're calling up the president. They're calling up everyone. They're like, they need to know this type of thing. Yeah. And all the president, played by Meryl Streep, she's just kind of like, I don't really care. It's okay.
Female president.
Yeah, female president.
Awesome.
But she gives off like a performance similar to like Donald Trump.
Oh.
It's very on the nose.
Not awesome.
Like, here's the thing. Like, I agree with a lot of what it's trying to say about like, we got to be concerned for the Earth. We got to be concerned of these things before financial stuff, before money.
Yeah.
but it's so you know how Red Notice held your hand?
I was about to say that.
This is like that. It reminded me of that so much, and it really sucks because there's moments where it's like Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo DiCaprio, they're literally screaming at the camera saying, you guys need to listen, this is ridiculous, you gotta and it's so repetitive at times. Do you want me to spoil it for you?
Yeah.
Okay, spoiler.
Well, do you think I should watch it?
No.
No? Okay, spoiler, go for it.
Okay, yeah, they all die.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, the meteor, because they didn't listen. And I was watching it, and I'm like, it's so on the nose. Like, Ariana Grande plays like a pop singer and stuff like that. Did I say Grande?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's basically...
How are the performances, though?
I really liked the actors in it. It really came down to the script and direction that I was not a fan of at all.
Who directed it?
Adam McKay, you might have heard of it. He directed The Big Short.
Oh, yeah.
He directed Vice.
Uh-huh.
So he's been
directing good movies, though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But he's going into that political direction. I have a personal taste with those types of movies. I kind of like his earlier movies, Step Brothers, The Other Guys. You know, I'd rather him direct like comedic films because he gets that on the spot. When he's like doing a movie like this, he's holding your hand. It's very preachy, and the humor isn't like I want to laugh. I thought this movie I expected to laugh more in this movie.
Yeah.
But it felt like they were just treating me like a baby, and they're like, "No, this is bad." And I was like, "Well, I don't know. You could have done a lot more work and made it a little more subtle with its themes and what they're referencing."
I don't know how you feel about this, but how do you feel about like climate change, those climate change movies? Because like I meet so many people that are like, "Oh, the climate, it's a cycle, it's fine," and I'm like,
"Oh, like if you're talking about like political beliefs and stuff like that, like this movie, I agree with. Like, yeah, we got to be concerned of climate change is real. Please
don't throw your.
I'm turning into Leonardo DiCaprio and don't look up. I'm looking at the camera. Don't listen to these stupid idiots. Anyways, I sprayed that, but you know what I mean, right? It's obvious. We all like.
Yeah.
It's just when it's so on the nose. It's like, man, I get worried when like a person who doesn't believe in climate change watches this and he's like, I'm actually smarter than this movie because this movie seems like it's for dumb people because it's holding your hand and stuff.
I hate when movies do that.
And it sucks because I love the cast. There's so many good actors in it. Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Cate Blanchett, Mark Rylance, Jonah Hill, Meryl Streep. I mean, this is a big cast, jeez.
So like, what would you say though is your favorite moment from the film? Like, what was the best part, performance or direction or whatever?
Leonardo DiCaprio screaming.
He's really good at that.
He's really good.
What would you say is like, if this is such a bad movie, what's a movie you'd recommend in place of this?
From the director specifically, I like his comedic films. I'm not a huge fan of when he goes really serious. Some people are a fan of The Big Short. I didn't think it was amazing, but it was better than this.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch something that has this similar style, but has good direction and a good narrative, then I would probably watch The Big Short. If you want to go into more comedic territory, he also directed Anchorman.
Oh my god, really?
Directed Anchorman 1 and 2.
Damn.
So you got your comedic choices. You got your Will Ferrell comedies that he directed.
If you know what you're good at, then don't stop.
Exactly,
don't
right?
break it. I mean, unfortunately for Nevis, he had to watch a bad movie this week. I was looking forward to that movie.
Yeah.
But
I will watch yours.
Watch Swan Song.
Yeah.
Okay. And viewers, you should check out Swan Song as well. If you've seen either of these movies, by the way, let us know what you thought of them in the comments. Not enough people are talking about Swan Song. Please get it out there. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like. Check out our, maybe subscribe. Check out our podcast on Spotify and on our YouTube channel. If you're feeling generous, check out our Patreon. And with all that being said, we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Peace out.